Hey everyone, Space Badger here, and today I'm here to talk to you about Haikyuu, specifically manga chapter 335, titled Mania. I really like Haikyuu. I like most shonen sports mangas. I liked Kuroko no Basket. I like Haikyuu. I loved I Shield 21. So I have a long history of following whatever the latest Pretty Boys Doing Things Well manga is in the shonen world, which I personally like that statement. What's bad about that statement? Good looking boys doing things well. These are all sensible words. I have no issue with it. Anyway, so um big on the anime, big on the manga, like everything. Read first and then watch second. But yeah, I've been following this series since its inception, and I figured as good as as I need to talk about for this week, because I'm a bit starved for content until One Piece gets rolling, and then we really start sort of honing in on that series. But so this is probably like a little fun little period where I get to sort of experiment a bit with my layout, with my set, with my show, with my angles. If you like the shirt, I like the shirt. But well, yeah. So while I'm sort of getting into the groove of trying to publish regular content, I figured why not? Why not review a sort of one-off chapter of my favorite series? And the best thing about this series, best thing about this episode slash chapter within this series, is this one focused on Bokuto, who's my or Bokuto probably is how you pronounce it, who is my favorite non Haikyuu member in terms of the actual main volleyball team who I'm currently blanking on. But anyway, so yeah, this chapter focuses on Bokuto's rivalry with this another top 5 player, specifically the top 3 player with short hair. And it starts out with a beautiful color page of just the manager from the Crows, and then we move into the chapter, which is of course Bokuto reminiscing about playing on volleyball teams in middle school and being really dedicated and being really hardworking, and typical of what you get in these sort of middle schooler um, manga series is of all the geniuses always stand out because no one ever can kind of stay with them or keep with them or play with them. What I love about this entire match of that Bokuto is featuring in is the fact that he got over that stupid vice, which was his sort of really up and downy kind of emotional turmoil that he goes through a game. So if he has confidence, he's sort of the star of the show and loud and animated and one with it. And then when he loses his confidence, he's like out in the dumps and can't score a point. I love that he the resiliency he shows in this whole match, and his general sort of outlook being entirely focused on about volleyball just being the thing he loves the most. Anyway, he misfires a hit, and so previously in other when we've seen Bakudo play in certain situations, he would have sort of regressed on that moment and sort of crumpled under the pressure and become really introverted and really anxious and stuff. He doesn't do that. He just says, sort of belts out, "God, volleyball's exhausting," and everyone's like, he's he's hilarious because he is hilarious. Bakudo is hilarious when he's really animated and really over the top and really having fun with it. He's really engaging as a character, and all the guys and all the other sort of players and spectators in the Haikyuu universe kind of recognize that. Anyway, so Kiryu, that's the guy's name, the other top 3 players, sort of shaved or very short shaven hair, does a hell of a slam back on Bakudo's team. And they kind of rebounded and managed to just get away with keeping the ball in play. And Bakudo rises up, and there's a sort of wall of 3 spikers there to deflect him down, and he actually deliberately aims for a rebound, which is really cool. And we sort of learn that Bakudo, he already was skilled, because I remember in sort of the training arcs they had when Bakudo first got introduced, Bakudo was the one who taught how to do the drop shot, or sort of the subtle shot, which actually gets featured later on in this match. So we've always known he's a skilled player, but rightly, it's kind of mixed with his personality. It's rather off kilter with his personality or character in the actual series, because he is a big kind of flash guy, look at me, center of attention kind of dude. And yet he has all these kind of skill plays in his arsenal, and that we kind of get another little sort of mini flashback, which I'm loving all of the way that Haikyuu balances this kind of interplay, flashback, and character development play style, because it's always really focused on the volleyball centered action, but it very so often will slip into these really sort of subtle and quite maybe only have 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 panels at the most, giving a bit of backstory, and you never feel like you're kind of getting ripped out of the sort of primary action of the series, but it's just giving you a kind of an introspection on that character while they're playing, which is really cool. And anyway, we find out that Bokuto learned how to do rebounds off his setter, who again I've forgotten his name, and the setter says what I was saying before, that Bokuto, don't you seem like more of a sort of flashy bang slam it when you want to like learn some kind of crazier shots, like a really like accurate down the line shot or like a deep serve or whatever? And he just says, no, I just focus on the fun. And this is where we get like basically the core concept of Bakuto's ethos in terms of playing volleyball. And he just says, all I ever think about is what's fun. Like everything I try and do, everything I try and like grow, I just ask myself, is it fun? So do I want to be able to do it? And like he tries not to ever think about anything that isn't in the context of fun. So he says like getting blocked, messing up receives, messing up a serve, getting exhausted, none of that stuff is fun. So he never like focuses on that. He always focuses on what's fun. This kind of is also quite interesting because it gives you a bit of depth into why he was sort of would cripple and like buckle under the pressure when he did make a mistake. Because if he became so fixated on sort of having fun all the time, like the minute there's anything that would rattle that feeling is what like made him lose confidence. And as a spiker in volleyball, anyone who plays, you need to really get up high and come down powerfully over the net. And it's not scary, but it's kind of intimidating, right? Because you're jumping into this sort of mesh that's really tightly strung. Like you can bounce off that, you can hurt yourself on that. So like it's all about confidence and like really elevating when you're playing volleyball. Anyway, and so yeah, so he says that's fun, and like the setter just basically develops some Akashi, that's his name, develops a newfound respect for Bakuto in that kind of flashback moment, to understand that like Bakuto's not more deep, but there's more going on in Bakuto than just kind of like center of attention kind of self-centeredness. So he gives him an amazing toss, and Bakuto rises, and he does what he was teaching back in the training arc of the 200 odd chapters ago, where he just sort of lightly places it over all the blockers. It's a really faint, sort of light tap, and elevation completely catches everyone off the opposing team off guard and lands into a point, which is kind of a big deal because it now means Fukurundani, God, I butchered that so badly, is actually up one. So Bakuto's team is up 1 point versus the top three guys' team. But everyone in the audience is rightly amazed because Bakuto's awesome, that he sort of managed to pull that stunt off in the middle of the game, which is really cool. So they're kind of praising him for it, and then he follows that up with like a wicked serve, but they manage to keep it in play and they keep going. And the chapter ends with a cliffhanger of Wakashi rising to do another powerful slam of his own, but you can see the level of intimidation he now has with Bakuto, who's kind of positioned himself to mark and potentially receive the smash. And that's how the chapter closes out. So I don't know if you like this. I mean, I love Haikyuu so much. I mean, the chapters are usually pretty like short action based volleyball challenges, and I suppose I just quite got a liking for volleyball when the last time I was over in America. So yeah, this series just came out at the perfect time when I was kind of developing an interest in that. And yeah, I read it week to week. I love it. It's one of my standard weekly staples. So if you liked everything I had to say, like, comment, and subscribe. Please leave your thoughts if you want potentially more Haikyuu content, or if you like the new perspective, should I lower the camera more? You can see less on my wall now. You can see more on my shirt. But yeah. Thoughts on any and all things. I hope you found it entertaining. Peace.